Stories that are untold, underreported, and all-out inspirational. Carey Pena reports.
Hey guys, I'm Carey Pena. Thank you so much for listening to Carey Pena Reports on iTunes and Stitcher, and for watching our live feeds on Facebook and YouTube. You can always find us at Inspired Media 360, and of course online you can see all of our content and shows at inspiredmedia360.com. Today we are talking about an epidemic in this country, and when you hear some of the stats that we're going to throw at you today, I think your jaws will drop. I want to introduce you to a woman who is on a mission to do something about it. Tara Sundem, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
You are the co-founder of what is being called Hushabye Nursery. So before we talk about that and your efforts to make a difference on a very big scale, tell me a little bit about your background. You've been a nurse for a very long time.
I've been a neonatal nurse for 24 years, 15 of those as a neonatal nurse practitioner here in the Valley.
What do you love about nursing?
I'm a caregiver. I love to make a difference in the babies' lives, but also those parents.
It's something that clearly inspires you.
It is.
And that's why you wanted to act right now with a lot of urgency, because in recent months, you've seen something explode that you just couldn't turn away from. Talk to me about that.
Correct. In the last couple years, we've actually seen an explosion of babies that are born addicted to the substances that their moms took while pregnant. Just seeing a baby withdraw is devastating.
And we're talking about opioid addiction.
We are, mostly opioids.
Tell me about what it is like when a baby is born, and do you generally know that the mother has an addiction problem, or sometimes are you surprised by what happens after the delivery?
Sometimes we're surprised. I would say for the most part, moms come in, they tell us, and we go, okay, and we deal with the issue. Sometimes we're surprised and we're like, okay, usually babies start withdrawing by 24, 48 hours, and you see these symptoms and you're like, okay, why can we not console this baby?
What are the symptoms?
Babies will tremor, have unconsolable crying. You can't get them to sleep, maybe 5-10 minutes if you're lucky. They vomiting, loose stools, difficulty feeding, tremors, mottling of the skin. They sneeze a lot, yawn a lot.
That must be so heartbreaking for you.
It is
to witness that.
It is, especially when you can't do anything.
Yeah.
You know, we now, can, if they get to the point that we're thinking that it's dangerous, then we give them an opioid to help them through, and then we slowly withdraw them from that. And I would say that, greater than 50% of babies that are exposed end up needing us to do that. That's off the top of my head, though.
Let's talk about how you're taking action. And it's a pretty big undertaking. So, I mean, I really commend you for this effort. But before we talk about that, give me some of the statistics that you were sharing with us before the show, because I'm shocked by these statistics, and I cover this stuff.
I know. From 2008 to 2013, 235% increase in babies that are diagnosed with neonatal abstinence syndrome. Neonatal abstinence syndrome is the diagnosis given to babies that are withdrawing from substances that their moms took. So 235% increase, and that's just to 2013. We expect those numbers are a huge amount higher than what they are.
You are a healthcare professional. You're exposed to a lot of families. What is going on? How has this crisis developed at this level where so many people are using and abusing these prescription painkillers?
Well, I think that, we have slowly realized that this problem just is getting worse and worse. Substance abuse, now we're going to start calling it a chronic disease, just like alcoholism. No one wants to be a substance addict. Nobody asked to do that. Something got them to that point. We're seeing it more and more because it's just out there. And I think we're making it so that it's not just a taboo subject. You can talk to anybody. Everyone knows if it's not in their personal life, it's a friend of a friend, that they know that, this happens to good people. It's not just, someone that has no resources and they were in the foster system or whatever. It's anyone.
What do the moms, what's the reaction from the moms and dads when their baby is born addicted and withdrawing in such a severe way?
They're devastated. They feel guilty. They're, they know how it is to withdraw, and then to see their babies do it, you have to feel for them. For the most part, they're guilty. They feel guilt, I guess.
What is the most emotional experience that you've had?
The one that really, really sticks out in my mind was a baby that was just having the hardest time. Couldn't sleep. I think overnight they said maybe rested for about 20 minutes altogether. I came in and was assessing the baby and checking it out, and I'm like, seriously? We slept for 20 minutes all night? They're like, yeah. So we had given the baby some more morphine is what we do to help them withdraw. We're waiting for that to take effect, and he just can't get it together. He's just screaming. He's arching his back. I mean, it was just devastating to the point that we ended up, I was like, you guys, the worst thing that we can have, and what we're trying to avoid is him having a seizure. And so we're waiting for this medicine to take effect. And I was like, okay, we've got to do something else. We ended up taking him out of the neonatal intensive care unit, which is not something that we usually do. Took him into another room, completely dark, took away all stimulation from him. After about 15, 20 minutes, holding him and containing him and making him just feel like, hopefully like he's inside mom, so that he has all those boundaries, you could just very slowly feel him going, okay, I'm going to give in. I can do this, because there's nothing irritating to him. These babies are so hypersensitive that any little bit, if you can think of the worst time that you've had the flu and you want it to be quiet and dark, or a migraine, all of those things, I suspect that's how it feels. When you talk to these moms and they're withdrawing, it's the same.
And that's what led you to want to start Hushabye Nursery. So tell us what that is.
Hushabye Nursery is a recovery center for babies with neonatal abstinence syndrome. So we will specialize only in babies. We will only have babies that are withdrawing from substances that need to be medicated to do that. We will have specially trained nurses. We will have specially trained volunteers. Everyone that wants to be a cuddler. You're not just going to be able to be a cuddler. We're going to have to make sure that you understand what you're dealing with. Because babies like this not necessarily want to be rocked. They want to be held and contained, and just have those boundaries.
Why do you think this is needed, a separate facility like this?
Because the NICU, the neonatal intensive care unit, is not the environment for these babies. The NICU is very high adrenaline. I mean, I was one of those adrenaline junkies. It's great to go on, a preemie baby and save lives and do all these things. But there's tons of light. There's alarms going off everywhere. And these babies that are withdrawing, that is completely the opposite of what they need. And it can be different. Babies can thrive in a different environment.
What is it that is so crucial in getting these babies help? Like, what happens if you aren't able to help them withdraw and turn the health aspect around in a short period of time?
Yeah. The biggest thing is the worst outcome would be they have a seizure. The other thing that we're looking at and realizing, from looking at kids at 4 or 5 years of age, that if you, in that first 1 to 2 months, if you don't have that attachment to a specific caregiver, let it be the parents, preferably. But if you don't have that attachment, that's something that you can't get back.
How does it feel to be making this happen, to think up an idea, identify a need, and now put it into action?
I'm trying to be patient, but I can't wait for it to really make a difference, for us to see that when the parents come in, the babies leave, and we know that we've made a difference. Huge. If we can change one outcome, huge.
So when will your facility open?
We need a building.
Yeah.
That's really where we're at. Once we get that going, once we get a building, I do think that we'll move very quickly. We have a whole bunch of dots. We just need to connect them.
How are you staying positive in this effort? Because it can be kind of daunting.
You know what? I truly think back to why we are doing this, because it's the right thing. It can be done differently, and the babies deserve it. And the other thing is, it's like, okay, how can I make a difference? This is it.
Tara, thank you so much for being here. Really appreciate it. Wish you the best of luck.
Thank you.
Keep us posted. And thanks to all of you for watching and listening to Carey Pena Reports on iTunes, Stitcher, Facebook, and YouTube. You can always catch our shows at inspiredmedia360.com. Today's show produced and engineered by Shannon Hernandez, brought to you by Inspired Media 360. Until next time, stay inspired.